Strawbs from the Witchwood, a 1971 LP I bought for £6 from the Vinyl Hunters stall at the Wickham Art Centre vinyl sale. In the late 60s, the Strawbs were basically a folk duo comprising Dave Cousins and Tony Hooper. They had an upright bass player, and they made one album with Sandy Denny that was not released at the time. After Sandy Denny left to join Fairport Convention, they made 2 albums that actually were released. This was their 3rd released album, and it is very much folk rock. They would go on to do more symphonic albums with more pastoral and stringy synths and a mellotron. But on this album they had a young Rick Wakeman, who had yet to find his classical symphonic sound, and instead brought with him an aggressive punchy Hammond organ. They also had a rock rhythm section with electric bass and drums. The songs are quite folky, and Dave Cousins always sings like the epitome of a folk singer. But Rick Wakeman stirs it all up with the kind of churchy chords and proggy Bach staccato type runs that Genesis were doing. However, what makes it stand out is the way he punctuates the very English songs with bluesy runs. Lyrically, it is all very days of yore. There is a medieval painting inside the gatefold. The lyrics tell of public hangings, animals slaughtered at the market, imprisoned clergy, and being trapped by a musical spell in the Witchwood. Dave Cousins often went full-on Christian, and on this album we have A Glimpse of Heaven, which compares the English countryside to heaven. He sings about the coming of spring, of newborn lambs and speckled eggs, and it is all sung in his folkiest voice, with a churchy organ and a choir-like chorus. And there is also I'll Carry On Beside You, a song about being together through life and death. Dave Cousins seemed to have a talent for rock and roll hymns and sermons that sounded nothing like Christian music. On the next album he wrote the song Benedictus, where he sings a list of things to bless. And despite that, it is a favourite of mine, and I am not even that keen on My Sweet Lord. This album is beautifully strange. It is like nothing else. It is like nothing else that even the Strawbs did. There are touches of dissonance that give parts of it an ominous dark quality. This is reinforced by the abstract but still slightly spooky cover. The cover suggests the tangle of branches that trap the singer in the Witchwood. The incongruity of the Hammond organ is matched by the appearance of sitar in 3 of the songs. The sitar was played by Richard Hudson, the drummer. Hudson and John Ford, the bass player, both have songs they had written and sung. The singing is fairly conventional British folk rock, with the kind of harmonies you might find on a Fairport Convention album. But the first track on side 2 has the kind of repeating chord progression and alternating sung versions and organ solos that are quite like Argent or ELP or even The Doors. The progression on this song reminds me a bit of Hendrix's version of All Along the Watchtower. From the Witchwood, Strawbs.